your talk and watching it here in the theater because I think like sound is very important for the movie, and with this sound system, it's been a enriching experience, I think. And well, I hope my question is not too trivial. I was just wondering because you in your talk you mentioned that while traveling through Colombia, you listened to a sound, or there was a sound, which I think is probably what inspired the movie, no? I'm not sure, but well, my question is, was the sound similar to what we hear in the movie, and did the sound just went away when you left Colombia? Something like that. Tell us about the sound. Was there a connection? Yeah.
Thank you. It was happening, I think, 2, 3 years before I was in Colombia. So it was really strange and happening mostly in the morning. Um, and it's like a bang, but not like a very jumpy like in the film. It's more like I know that it's coming, and then oh, now it comes bang, and it's after a while I feel very good with it because I can control it even, and and then looking online, I realized that there are several that people have this symptom. It's called exploding head syndromes. And when I made memory and showing in different places, people started telling me that, oh, I have it. I have the same. So, but many people say it's impossible to translate the sound, yeah, and I agree because it's like in the movie, the way I try to come up with this sound is go to my sound designer, and then back then I know that I'm gonna make Memoria, so I set up the camera and then I shot me trying to work it out with the sound guy, and it's like Tilda here, I'm trying to say it's like a rumble with the metal and all that. So it's true, but in the end it's close, but it's not the real thing because it's not a sound that I'm experiencing. It's something about the brain. Yeah. So and it's so how you say it's so special because you watch the film and then you become part of the how you say in the restaurant, right? In the restaurant when the sound happen, and then other people don't hear it, only you and Tilda. So you become Tilda. You conspire with her, and then I think for the audience, the idea of listening is really become important after that scene. No? You're really acute of hearing, yeah, until the end of the film, yeah. Like Jessica.
Thank
Hello.
Right.
So I want to start with like a comment because this is like the fifth time I've seen the film, and but something that I never had in mind was this concept that you said in Masterclass about collective listening, and this changed everything for me this time around because I came with two friends and I was sort of very attentive of how they would respond to the film as well. And at the same time, I kept hearing all these noises from the audience, and it felt like it enhanced the landscape of the film. And to me, it was such a gift to sort of rewatch a film I've seen a variety of times in such a fresh experience. So that was phenomenal. And now with my question, I wanted to say that a feeling that I got from the film since the first time I saw it, and that it haunted me for a long time, was that every object in the world had a story, and that the sort of accumulation of stories led to like a big story of the universe. which was really weird, to the point where in one of my birthdays, I told my friends to listen to the stars, which was really weird. But my point was that at the same time, in the masterclass you mentioned ghost, and the ghost appears when you film. And something that I really wanted to ask was, do you feel like the stories that the world around us can tell us through vibrations or through storytelling are in a sense like a conjuration? I don't know if that's a good word, but like conjuring the ghost. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's sort of my question, I guess.
Well, it's another kind of memory, you know, this vibration and how it, you know, like the trees, you know, how the tree itself, when you cut it, you can see into the past and through the years. And I think sound is the same. And I think there's some kind of experiment and kind of research on that too, to try to extract information from what's left. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe someone knows this scientific research. Yeah, and I'm not sure about ghosts, but I feel this kind of wave. You know, I think it's in us, and also when you meditate, I think it's sometimes you become so open, and it's not it's something else. No, it's not visual. It's not sound. It's some kind of different energy. I think. Yeah. Sometimes when you meditate, you really feel that, but I don't know. It's something else.
Thank you, Nicholas here. Thank you for an amazing film. Can we talk about violence? So the story that you tell about your life, in many ways captures the incredible social and political complexity of your country. And in this film, I can't help but listen to the violence that subtends the entire story. The dog that is nearly killed and then forgotten. The woman who is sick and almost dies from some fungus. The soldiers that guard the pathway to memory. I'm Colombian, and that is what I hear, in some sense, as I watch your film. So I guess we have a question, my partner and I, we're both Colombian, and that question is about the social and political complexity that you must have sensed as you traveled through Colombia. And so our question is, you know, how do you go about capturing that and then turning it into a narrative sequence, such as the one in the film, and of course, into sound?
Thank you. It was strange because a few months before the shooting, actually during the script writing too, you know, I had a dinner at the producer house, and then there's another producer who, like American, but producing film in Colombia and other places, and he said, you know, this film is not gonna work, because he said he never, you know, he asked me, can you tell me any film director who go to another country and make a film that is that reflecting the reality of that country, because there's so many complexity that you cannot fathom. And I feel, yes, right, I couldn't name many who went to capture another culture, and that kind of scared me and gave me a lot of doubt about this film. And then I start to continue the writing too, but at the same time, I said, okay, Colombia, people talk, first thing is about violence, about drugs, about that. So I said, it's impossible for me to really understand, as an outsider. So I'm just gonna just do my thing, just listen, just go to hospital, just to be in the park where I like. So you see what you saw in the film. There's a lot of real stuff that happened, little things like the bus tire explosion that really happened. I saw it. I was walking home on the street, and then there's a bang, and then one guy jumped, and then so all of this, the dog story and soldier on the street, so all these things happen. So this film is more like a cut and paste of memories, and of course about talking to people about their own relationship with the bang, the loud noise. So people talking about, they're driving sometime, and then there's a bang, and then you just froze. You don't know how to react, because you don't know if it's someone shoot someone or if it's a fireworks of celebration. So you just imagine and you anticipate. So the whole movie is about anticipation, I think. Yeah. So in the end, the script become something similar to that, and we even cut out what we shot that is more obviously political, yeah, to make it, or during the editing, to listen to Jessica, to listen to the movie itself, like what it wants to be, and in the end, it just want to follow this woman. So I cut many scenes out that is around her life. Yeah. So I don't know if that answers your question, but it's just simply about just being there and for a short time, like half a year. Yeah.
You sure have answered my question.
Hello, my name is Elisa. Thank you again for being here and sharing. So I wanted to ask you if you feel or think that you are some sort of a medium communicator between different worlds with your art or through your art, and if so, what can you tell us about this?
I'm not sure. Medium.
Like a psychic. Psychic?
I don't know. I just don't think that I communicate for someone. It's more about personal diaries, maybe, or just try to make sense of my environment or situation at certain times. Yeah. Because with the workshop or with Q&A, I always, like, honestly, I don't care about you. I don't care about audience at all. And that's really hard, because we live our life, we just care about people and how people feel about us, and so we compromise or we change. But I think to make film, especially when I choose to make personal film, is you cannot please anyone, in the end, it's impossible. So I think the challenge is how to just please this one audience, myself, as transparent as possible. Yeah. So if it's something about communication, maybe it's about that and the complexity of how to frame and how to make the movie, that reflect this this movement of living. You know? And for sure, it's not going to synchronize with everyone. Some people say, "Oh, this is the worst movie." So who cares? No? So this is, I think, my approach to filmmaking.
Hi, Joe. Well, I have a very simple question for you, and that is, what is your philosophy for a happy life? Thank you.
Like I said, there's something about not projecting, and I think meditation really helps, and to understand this huge space that we have, but we always forget it, and that we always projecting, okay, what we gonna do, or and that also linked with the comparison, when you start to compare, that create problems. So, because you're okay now, but then you compare, you say, oh, I want to have a more money, better car, more handsome, better skin condition, whatever. And then you're not okay anymore. You become poor, you have bad car, you know. So I think that's the key, just like to just content. Yeah. I mean, in theory, that's what I'm trying to remind myself.
Hello there. Thank you very much for being here and for your film. I just want to ask you, how do you approach the creation of these non-linear narratives, and how do you consider they affect the viewing experience, particularly in a cinematic world, often seeking more linear and predictable plots? And additionally, I just want to ask, it's a very trivial question, but do you believe the ghosts can live in your dreams? Thank you.
Do I believe in ghosts?
Do you believe the ghosts can dream into our dreams?
A ghost can dream? That's
so
deep.
Do you believe ghosts can live into our dreams? That's very simple.
Ghosts can live
in our dreams, inside our dreams.
Well, first of all, I'm not sure. I think the movie is really linear. It's a linear form that deals with time, actually ABC, and so you're just reflecting maybe non-linearity of thoughts maybe that you can do. But for me, I think most of my film or even installation is really simple, and it's really following a linear time. Short time, maybe sometime 1 day, sometime 4 or 5 days, like this film. So it can only echo, some movies echo this non-linearity. But I honestly not sure about the ghost thing. Sorry.
Maybe I can compliment, but I am trying to make a film about my mom's dreams, and also other members of my family who has been dreaming with my dead father during 20 years. So
oh, you mean the ghosts keep appearing?
Yeah. So it was just that's it.
But like Uncle Bunmi, I don't know if you've seen the movie Uncle Bunmi. There's some ghosts and stuff, but those are human, no? I think those are our attachment and how that is our desire. So they are us.
Hello, it's Vanessa. Thank you for the movie. I appreciate it very much, and I want to thank you also for the masterclass. You said something during the masterclass about rhythm, and I wanted to ask you a little more. I'm going to try to explain myself. The work you're doing around memories, dream, time, might be a way to find a reason through all your memories and through maybe the language of yourself, like finding something that creates an indwelling between memories and the present, like a way to deal with our memories and our past. And you said something during the masterclass. You said something about the rhythm that you remember of the hospital of your parents at the beginning. You said something like that, and I don't know if that expresses it, but the duration in your movie, the feeling of meditation and something between silence and time passing gives the sensation of the movement of life who has found a very quiet path. And my question is, I'm trying to formulate it. My question is, how do you work with rhythm during your film, but maybe also in your inner self? Like, does the movie reflect something about your own rhythm, with your own memories and yeah.
In particular time, yes, that it reflects my rhythm in relation to particular space and time. No? For this is Colombia, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Yeah, and I normally don't like to watch my film, but lately I saw Tropical Malady. That was 2004, and I was thinking, wow, it's so fast, you know. But I remember watching the same film, let's say 5 years ago. I watched Tropical Malady. I said, oh, it's so slow, you know. So it's really, you know, reflecting that guy, you know, in 2004 speed. But at the same time, in relation to what? In relation to you 5 years ago, in relation to me now. So everything keeps shifting. This idea of rhythm and speed. Yeah. So which you cannot control. So for me, the best is how to translate this rhythm for that particular time, the making of the film. Yeah. And so memory is special because it's not totally, you know, my memory. So it's Colombia and all this heaviness of the, I don't know, the sky and the architecture. You know, so it's reflecting that. Yeah.
Apichatpong, thank you very much for being yourself. And my whole family is very fan of you and your work. My son just finished his career on cinema in France. He's very sorry he's not be here because he's living in France. But we have discussed a lot about these long scenes, long parts on Memoria. For example, when Hernan died, so sleeping or died, this long part, and some others at the end, the clouds, etc., etc. Why? I always ask my son. He's supposed to be. He's supposed to know about this. He has some theory, but of course I want to ask you and to tell my son. He told me the truth. It's not your theory. He told me that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. No, I always say it's the time of that. Like, it relates to the question before. It's my particular time, and not only me, but also with the the editor and our this audience. This our group, and it's it's also really specific. Because we also project and see how it feels. It's not for the laptop, let's say. It's for this size, and it's for this sound experience that contribute to that length. So, but again, I don't know if it's like 5 years later, I would say, oh, it's really short. It's too short. Yeah, but anyway, practically that shot, with Bernard sleeping or dying, it is for me so important because it's the point in the film where the film declare itself that hey, this is a film. This is about you or us together following a story, and the time continues, but then the film refused to continue. And then the audience realized that, okay, we're watching the film, this is an illusion. And I think it's like the idea of listening together as well, you're aware of being in a fiction or in some kind of illusion again. So it's quite contrary to, let's say, Hollywood movie, mainstream movie, where you're not supposed to aware. You're supposed to keep following and chasing the narrative and trying to maybe project in the future, like, or be, you lose yourself, you become like a medium. Actually, you become a zombie, and you're led by directors, and you become the actors. You identify, But for me, I want to do the other way. I want people to know that you are in the crowd. You are with the other people watching this light.
Hola, gracias. Yo quisiera saber qué onda con... Ah, ¿ya? Quisiera saber qué onda con la nave espacial. What's up with the spaceship?
What about it?
I don't know, I think it's like
it's one possibility of sound, of this bang, one possibility of the origin of this memory of the land that used to listen to this sound. So, but for me, it could be anything. It could be an illusion. It could be, so spaceship is just one possibility, and for me, it's my own kind of preference, like to go back to my childhood, and it's my own vibration when I really love this science fiction illustration. Yeah, it's those kind of really old-fashioned cover of those magazines, and it make me dreams. It goes some places. So that's why I introduced that, and it's quite risky because I feel like at that point, if it works, it's gonna work. Meaning that me as an audience will not question anything, because the beautiful immensity of the world and the sources of sound and stories it can be that too, you know. So when you see the spaceship, you don't say, what's going on? I'm lost, you know. So that's, I don't think it will work, you know. So it's a gamble. Yeah. And before that, you know, that scene, you know, there's so many sounds that happening in that scene, including the sound from Tilda herself talking to her dad, and also Egin, who played Erna, also talk, and then also my voice a little bit. So everything is like a documentary as well, putting in there. And also there's also a sound. The first human, the first recording human voice singing, you know, from 18 something is also in there, you know, mix everything. Yeah, so again, it's about this openness, and spatial is one of that. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, I hope you're having a great day, first of all. I want to ask you about actors because I'm curious about it is different working with in home in Thailand and different working in Latin America, and if it's different, for example, if you ask all the actors about working in the present moment, and yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's very different because in Thailand I was really involved, not only for the actors but also for everything, the costume, the set, and you know, because we are working together for 20 years, you know, in Thailand, so we kind of have this like dancing together. But for in Colombia, it's another thing, you know, and with Tilda is another thing. So I really focused on the actors, but beside Tilda, I rely so much on acting coach, Spanish coach, how the delivery of the line, you know, because during the casting, for example, you know, I was in Thailand, and then the team in Colombia sent me the link to different actors, and you know, making different takes of um, of a fictional thing. And sometimes I say, oh, I really like that take, you know, take two. And they say, no, that's really like soap opera. So, oh, I really don't know in Spanish, you know. I understand the language and that scene, but I don't know the naturalness. And I was reminded of Ozu, you know, the Japanese director, you know, because I talked to my Japanese friend that, oh, I like Ozu very much because I think the acting and is really natural. And he said, no, Ozu film are very fake. The dialogue, everything is really, really particular of acting. Yeah. So I gave up for Spanish. Yeah. So again, so it depends so much on the acting coach, but I kind of stress to them that because I want particular again rhythm for this film, you know. So if the Colombian Spanish speak like this speed, I want maybe 10 or 20% slower. That, so that kind of needs that I have. And then also about the costume and everything, I have no idea, you know. So I just open. So I just lose my normal need to control, and then I focus on the actor and also the framing and yeah, the mood of each shot. Yeah.